I don't remember if it was Hayden or Wayne, but they made me try a stuffed mushroom, and all I tasted was like a sponge. Like, I don't know why people like it.
From the blog Random Sweets, I'm Stacey Mergenthal, and this is Funeral Potatoes and Wool Mittens, a show for people who embrace the warm and cozy spirit of everyday living in the northern Midwest. In this episode, my daughter, Kalani Perry, joins me to share our spicy vodka pasta recipe, and she gives us a suggestion for how to use up that carton of heavy cream that you need to make it. We talk about what it's like to experience Cossetta in St. Paul, especially what she likes to eat there most, and she gives us a list of 7 restaurants in Sioux Falls, South Dakota that she likes. Plus, you'll hear what matching tattoo we will never get. Kalani is in her last semester of college, and she will do her clinicals this summer to become a surgical technologist. In middle and high school, she played hockey, and although she has a calm and reserved personality off the ice, she possibly had the most penalty minutes of anyone on her team. She's a certified lifeguard, and when she has time for outdoor activity, she likes to snowboard and golf. Plus, she is always up for a road trip with me. Now let's go see what else Kalani has to say. Welcome, Kalani Perry, to Funeral Potatoes and Wool Mittens.
Hi.
Also known as my daughter. Well, it's about time you get on this podcast. I think this is going to be episode 9. And I've tried to come down here to Sioux Falls to your place a couple of times. The first time we were all set up in the community room, and it was the first time I was going to use 2 microphones.
Little technical difficulties.
Very technical difficulty. I realized I didn't know what I was doing. So I had to pack everything up and go back home and take the weekend to figure it out. And then that's when Jason and I did ours together. We've talked about a podcast for a long time. Do you remember? It's been a few years.
Well, when we would go on trips, we would always talk about how we should always make a podcast. Or you would always say like that we should just have a camera or like our phone sitting up so we can just have a video of us like all the way when we would take trips together because we're so funny.
We think we're funny. Yeah.
We're funny.
I specifically remember that when we were going to Omaha. We just had a blast, and we thought it would be funny if we just had a dash cam recording our conversations. But
see, I remember when we went to the cities, when we went to the zoo, I think it was around COVID because I was making TikToks, and I had you be in one of my TikTok videos.
Oh, I forgot about that trip. Oh, yeah, I don't know how to dance, but
I didn't either.
That was proven on that TikTok, I'm sure. No, but you did. We seriously did talk about and that you and I could do one together too. And you had me listen to some of the podcasts that you listen to because I wanted to get a feel for how people do podcasts, and especially the younger podcasters that are of interest to people your age, and Sydney and Grace and the other Sydney, and just, you know, Katera and part of our family. Not that you guys at your age are listening to this podcast, but I didn't want it just from my perspective of what I wanted. And so you really helped me and gave me ideas about what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
You should do one. You and Hayden could do one.
Yeah.
Your boyfriend Hayden.
He'd definitely take the top of that.
He would take the lead.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Well, when we started talking about, okay, what should we do for our first episode together? I thought, well, chicken and rice. Because
that you think that we should get tattooed.
Yes. So, yeah, I was thinking about chicken and rice because for a couple of years, when you were in high school and then when you went into college at SDSU, but mostly the last couple years of high school, that's pretty much all I would make for us to eat is, chopped up chicken breast, seasoned, and then rice with soy sauce. And I said, we might as well just, because we got matching tattoos, right? When you were a senior?
I think it was when I was a freshman at SDSU.
Oh, a freshman at SDSU. I was so nervous to get a tattoo, but it's very tasteful, and it says faith and has the look of a cross in the F. So, but chicken and rice was our next matching one, and you didn't really agree with that. then I was like, well, let's do the spicy vodka pasta because it's kind of a cool story how I think you texted me one day or something and you're like, we have to make this pasta. And I'm like, okay.
Well, I think it might have been when I was at work because I think it was around COVID when people were talking about like they were posting all this different type of food stuff. Like there is this one thing with like this coffee where you make it like a whipped coffee or whatever. I never tried that, but I saw some people did. But then I saw pasta and I was like, I love pasta. Mm-hmm. And it's like a spicy vodka pasta. So I was like, oh, we should try this.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure there are people that are like, well, I've made penne vodka pasta always. But mm-hmm. for us, this is something new. We have done macaroni and cheese and chicken Alfredo, those kinds of things, but we had not done a vodka pasta. So to us in our family, it was a new thing. And it probably intrigued you that there's vodka in it.
Maybe.
And you maybe had a bottle of vodka that we could use.
I do right now.
Well, now you're old enough. It's not like stuck in a backpack downstairs in your bedroom.
Or hidden under my bed.
In the closet. You legally have vodka now. So yes. we can make some vodka pasta. And I said, sure, tell me what's in it. Or, you sent me the screenshot or something of it. And mm-hmm. we've since then, because we made it that first time and really liked it, but definitely we needed chicken to go with it. So we've been making it with chicken ever since. So our recipe includes taking a pound of chicken breast and then just cutting it up and sauteing it with whatever seasonings you want to use. And then the sauce and the penne pasta is separate from that, but you can use whatever kind of pasta you want. So I'm looking at the recipe right now, and the sauce is just taking some olive oil, and then you fry or saute in the garlic cloves and some diced onion. And then when those are soft, you add in just a half a cup of tomato paste. And what I like is those little cans of tomato paste that you buy, a fourth a cup is half of it. So basically I stick the other half of the can in the refrigerator, and then within a few days you can make this again because you have another half a can of tomato paste to use. And then half a cup of heavy cream. And again, if you're buying one of those little cartons of heavy cream, you probably have half of that still to use. So this is really helpful to be able to make it a couple of times within a week or so. And then comes the vodka. Mm-hmm. And red pepper flakes, which, because you were working at the pizza place.
Yeah.
And I didn't have red pepper flakes at home. So you brought home a couple of little packets of red pepper flakes to use in the recipe, right?
Yes.
And now I do have a nice jar of red pepper flakes, the Watkins brand, which I really like. They're out of Minnesota. Anyway, you mix all that up to make a sauce, and then there's also a little bit of butter in the penne pasta. And I save a little bit of the pasta water once the pasta's cooked, and then kind of add that back into the sauce, just a little bit, not too much, because you don't want to water it down. It's really not going to have much taste to it. Then we also really like it with fresh grated Parmesan cheese. Mm-hmm. That's one of my favorite parts about it, I think, is that cheese on the top.
Same. I'll put the cheese on the top and then eat the top layer, and then I'll add more cheese.
Yes! You are my daughter. It's confirmed. And then a little bit of salt and pepper. So it's really easy. So we ate that quite a bit, and now I gave you the recipe. Did you and Hayden make this before?
Yeah, we actually made it when you gave me the recipe when we were supposed to do the podcast. And then I think a couple days after is when I made it, because I went and got like red pepper flakes. And that's when I called you on FaceTime about like heavy cream and stuff like that. And I think you were in the car.
Yep. You were at the grocery store wondering which one, and mm-hmm. heavy cream has gotten really expensive.
Yeah, and they didn't have one of the small little cartons or whatever, so I had to get one of the half-gallon ones or whatever.
Yep, and you don't need much of it, and it doesn't last. Once you open it, got to use it up quick, so that's kind of tough.
You can use it on coffee, too, to make cold foam. Oh. So if you add a little bit of vanilla in it and you use one of those milk frothers, you can make cold foam on top of your coffee.
Okay, so does our cappuccino, or not cappuccino, what do I have? Espresso maker. What do I have?
An espresso maker.
Okay, does that have a milk frother in it? That little thing that comes down?
That is to do like for hot milk.
Oh, okay.
So a frother, it's like a little mini electric, like little hand whisk, but
so
it's small.
I don't have one of those, but I have a couple of recipes for baking that use heavy whipping cream. So sometimes if I need to use some up, I'll pull out one of those recipes. Anyway, so we're sharing the vodka pasta recipe on randomsweets.com, and then we also add chicken to it, but we will not get vodka pasta tattoos.
No. Nope.
Then let's talk about Cossetta.
Okay.
Because you and I have been known to go to this restaurant twice in one weekend when we go up to the cities.
Yep. Even if I'd say we could go the same day too.
Oh, yeah, I would eat there at lunch and I would eat there again at dinner time in the evening. So Cossetta is in St. Paul, and I think it's on 7th Street, but I can include the address in the show notes. But we first heard about Cossetta because your Uncle Will, so my brother-in-law Will, he works sometimes up in the cities, and a long, long, long time ago he told us about Cossetta, and he hadn't been there for quite a few years, but we gave it a try. And it's this multi-level building on the corner that has restaurant, a patisserie, a market, an Italian market. There's a fancier sit-down dining restaurant on the 3rd level, I think. The 2nd level is where most of the seating is to eat. And there's also another little restaurant in there now. A very casual, like maybe some sandwiches, burgers, hot dogs, something like that. It's kind of Italian street food. We haven't eaten that part of it, but the first time we went there, we didn't really know. You kind of walk in and you're not really sure what do you do, because it's not a typical
even where
restaurant.
To start.
Right. There's not somebody there greeting you. There's not a host or a hostess. And let's just share with people. So if they're like, hey, I want to check that place out because the food is phenomenal, tell people what to do when they get there.
Or you can. Well, you park in the back, because if you park on the street, do you have to pay for parking on that street? I'm not really sure.
I'm not sure.
But there's not a lot of parking.
Yeah, there's not a lot of parking. And in the wintertime, anybody from the Midwest knows what side, what streets are with all the snow. It's hard to park anyway on the street.
But Cossetta has a free parking in the back. And I just looked up what street it was. So it's on Chestnut Street. So it's on that street where you go into the parking.
Okay. Yeah, there's a person usually in a little booth there that greets you and hands you a ticket.
And tells you where to park, where there's an open spot.
It's free parking, which is really handy. We've never had to park anywhere other than the free lot. And there's doors in the front, so if you do park in the front or somewhere else, you can walk in from the front. But because we've always parked in the back in the parking, then we kind of walk in what I kind of feels like the back door.
Yeah, so then you want to go past those stairs that go upstairs. And then kind of by like the front register side is where the trays and the silverware are. Mm-hmm. You want to grab a tray.
Mm-hmm. So it's sort of cafeteria style. And I think, the first time we went, we didn't know. We just kind of started going through the cafeteria and didn't realize we didn't have a way to carry our stuff. And so, like Kalani said, you want to grab a tray and the plastic silverware and napkins that are there. And there's a little dessert case. You can pick some like tiramisu and chocolate cake and things right there in that dessert case. Then you go around the corner to start the food line and the salads.
Right by the salads and the pasta salads.
Yeah, so you can pick different pasta salads or vegetable salads, like a broccoli chop salad or the potato salad, or actual lettuce salads. So they have there's a menu board that you look at up on the wall, and they'll make Caesar salad or some other kinds with different vegetables and dressings. And then when you slide down a little bit further, you can pick from hot or cold sub sandwiches. I have not done the hot ones, but I've done the cold sub, like a ham and cheese, and I've also done turkey. And those are really good too. It's on really fresh French roll sub bread.
Yeah, I still need to try one of those.
Mm-hmm. And the Italian dressing that they put on there, I usually get it on the side because I end up eating half of it later, and so I don't want all the dressing on it. But the Italian dressing they use on those subs is really good. Then there's the pasta line, and there's a board.
The best part.
Your favorite. Have you ever eaten anything other than?
I think I've gotten the same thing every time, except I did get a salad once, but I also still got pasta.
Right, you still had pasta that day, though. Okay, so do you remember what it's called that you get?
Something Cioli.
Oh, the Mastacioli.
Yes, Mastacioli.
Which we're not Italians, so we don't know if we're saying that right, but...
They either say Mastacioli or Mastacioli or whatever it is.
Oh, I bet it is Mastacioli.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're Midwesterners. But we know, she knows how to order it.
Yes.
And is it a penne?
Yeah.
With...
What'd you say it was? I think you said it was, because there's two sauces. It's like either like the Alfredo sauce with like a red sauce that's kind of like mixed, or what did you say?
Yeah, so you're right. It comes with a red sauce and then a white sauce. And I always just thought it was red sauce and Alfredo. But when I read their menu online or something once, I'm like, oh, this is actually, it's a little different kind of sauce, I think, if I remember right. It's not just an Alfredo sauce. But I'd never seen a red and a white mixed together, and I do that at home now. So when we have spaghetti and meat sauce, I usually have leftover meat sauce. And so I will make a box of the Trader Joe's, the organic shells and cheese, and then add a little bit of that leftover marinara meat sauce. And it is really good. And I never would have thought of doing that if it weren't for you having that pasta at Cossetta, and then they mix a white and a red sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And you always get a breadstick. When you order pasta, you get a breadstick. You don't usually eat yours, do you?
Not normally. They're really good. I've had them before. It's just hard for me to eat them.
It's a garlic, very heavily butter garlic breadstick. And then I get the...
It's like, I don't know what it's called either, but it looks like something... like a little something with, and they put bacon pieces on it, don't they?
Oh, yeah. It just skipped my mind, but now I can picture it. So it's a tortellini.
Mm-hmm.
And the tortellini is cheese stuffed, and then it comes with a white sauce. And then you can get it with the pancetta. So there's little chopped up bacon bits all over it, essentially. And that is really good, too. It's about 3 servings. I mean, it's one,
yeah,
they give it to you in one tray, but
that's
you can
the only
eat like
one
3
that you
meals.
can't. Yeah, that's the only one you can't pick a size for, I think. Because I get the small size, and sometimes I don't even eat all that.
Right, and the tortellini that I get, you cannot order in a small. It's only the regular, larger size. And we're usually traveling, and we're up there. We're not just running home, and so we can't take home the leftovers. So that's a downside. But I have a couple of times. I definitely have. That's been the last thing that we've done. And then I have a cooler that plugs in the car, and I have brought home leftovers. Especially now that... Oh,
we didn't talk about the pizza yet.
I was going to say, yeah, okay. We can't go to
I know, I was going to do the same thing, but I was like, there's still some left. We still have pizza.
Yeah, so you get down through the pasta line, and then there's pizza. And they are huge triangles. Essentially, it's probably about like a 3-piece slice.
Yeah, it's bigger than like a paper plate size.
Mm-hmm. But it's really good. So I've had that before quite a few times. That's pepperoni. I mean, I get pepperoni, but they have a couple kinds to pick from. And they also have a few other things in that section that we haven't tried. There's something in my mind. I'm thinking of some sort of rice balls, maybe fried rice balls. Italians, would know what I'm talking about. But there's a few other things there that we haven't tried.
I don't go down that far. I just go to the pasta and I'm done.
Right. I really like the pizza. If we lived up there, we would eat that so much, and we would get pizza to go. And All right, and so then you usually carry your tray over to the cash register. They have big coolers there where you can pick what you want to drink: bottled sodas, canned sodas. I'm pretty sure they have beer. They might have wine as well. I'm pretty sure that you can get in there. So you pay for it and then walk up the steps and enjoy sitting upstairs. And there's outside seating up there too on a balcony that overlooks kind of that downtown area. And so if it's nice out, you can sit outside. And then...
the best part, the other best part.
Okay, so tell me what it is.
The gelato in the, whatever you call it, bakery, the patisserie.
Patisserie. We don't know what it's called, but...
The mango gelato specifically.
I think that the first time we went there, you had mango gelato, and you've never had anything else since.
No. I have tried one of those little tart thingies, whatever it was, but I didn't like it.
Oh, okay.
But I still also got mango gelato.
Right.
And now we realized we can actually get it in like a little mini, what would you call that? Like little foam cooler thing.
Mm-hmm. The little styrofoam.
Yeah, the
pints.
styrofoam cooler, and take it back home.
Mm-hmm. So there's probably at least 10 different kinds of gelato to pick from. And I talked about this in the episode about 26 bakeries you should know about in Minnesota and South Dakota. And I did talk about it and say that there's quite a few flavors of gelato, like in amaretto, tiramisu, there's chocolate.
Yeah, I think there's like a couple different chocolate ones.
Pistachio, just different kinds. But gelato is definitely really good. And yes, it's been recently, so I've only done this 2 times, but asked if they have, to-go containers. And then it was my last stop before I came home. And so I had a cooler and then put it on ice and brought Kalani back a little. They have like probably pints and then maybe half gallon or something of those styrofoam things. They have a little lid that's on them. I like their chocolate chip cookies, so it seems pretty basic when you're in a place like that, but they have really good chocolate chip cookies and tarts. They have key lime. They have little cheesecakes. I mean, they're so pretty, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially there's like this one specific one that I can think of. I think it's a tart that has like a little chocolate rim something around it with like little fruits and I don't know. I can't remember the name of it, but...
Yeah, and there's quite a few things in there, too, that I don't even know how to pronounce, so I just have to point at it and say, I want one of those. And they sell little mini ones and then a little bit larger size, but then they also have a cooler case, or a few different cooler cases that they sell whole, like a whole cheesecake, a whole chocolate cake, a whole key lime pie or tart. They also have really good coffee, so I've gotten coffee there. Anyway, it's a really neat place. It's fancy. They have like these big chandeliers hanging from the ceiling in that patisserie section.
But you definitely don't have to dress fancy to go there.
Right. And once you get in there, it's cafeteria style if you're eating at that downstairs spot. I think the only thing is if you're eating up on that 3rd floor, you might even have to make reservations at that 3rd floor restaurant. And that might be a little bit fancier, the sit-down dinner. But I bet the food is really good. So then there's still another part to the... They have the market, the Italian market. So you can go into the market and shop all kinds. Kalani, have you looked at the pastas they have there?
No, but I've seen like all the cheeses.
Okay, because they have a cheese case and a meat case where you're buying fresh. But pastas I've never seen around here in our just regular grocery stores. There's all different kind of shapes and things. And they sell all different kinds of pasta sauces and tomatoes, and they have some fresh produce in there. I noticed last time that they actually, in their meat case, so they have deli meats and cheeses, but they also have a different meat case where they're selling fresh meats like chicken and veal. They actually have their meatball mix. So if you really like their meatballs, you can actually buy the mix, the hamburger, all of it together in 1 pound, 2 pounds, how much ever you want, and then go home and make your own meatballs. And then they have fresh breads. So you can buy some fresh loaves of bread and French breads and baguettes. But I really like their chocolate layer cake. And I can make a really good layer cake at home. That is what I've made for Sajan for his birthday quite a bit. But sometimes I don't want to bake. And this is a small kind of maybe a 6-inch layer cake. They sell those in the freezer by the whole. And so you can just go to the freezer section. They have a chocolate layer cake, a vanilla with strawberry, a carrot cake, and German chocolate, which I've never done the German chocolate because I don't really like coconut. And it's the same thing that they serve by the slice over in that food section when you come in to eat.
By the trays?
Yep, by the trays. By the trays and the silverware. So that's Cossetta in downtown St. Paul. They've been there for many, many years. We've only known about it for, I don't know, maybe 8 years.
Maybe.
You know? And Will, he's like, it's so funny that you guys go there all the time now because he hasn't been there in probably, 10 years. He doesn't go there, but he's the one that told us about it. I recently heard about a place in White Bear Lake called Donatelli's. They've been there since 1976. So one of these times, Kalani, we have to, it looks like really good Italian food. People love it. We're going to have to go to the cities and eat at Cossetta, but try Donatelli's sometime too. Yeah. So Hayden is your boyfriend. Yes. Hey, Hayden. And Hayden's going to be a guest. He's pretty excited. He was going to do it again a couple weeks ago. Then he got sick, so we actually couldn't do one with him, but Hayden will be on the podcast. But his mom and dad, Kim and Wayne, they, Kalani and Hayden go there and they eat meals, and which is really cool.
Yeah, they make me eat peas and mushrooms.
So you were just telling me today that Kim puts peas in her tater tot hot dish.
Yes. And
in our family, we put corn. Well, you said she puts corn and peas.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. But at least for sure she puts peas in there and you pick them out. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So they give you a hard time about that?
Well, Jess does.
That's Hayden's sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Yep. But she's like a sister to you. Mm-hmm. What are some other foods that, until you grow up, growing up, you only eat the foods that I'm making. So if it's something I don't like, then I'm not making it. So you wouldn't have tried it. And now you're more adventurous and Hayden will have you try different foods.
Mm-hmm. I don't really remember. I just remember one time, I don't remember if it was Hayden or Wayne, but they made me try a stuffed mushroom. And all I tasted was like a sponge. I don't know why people like it.
I know people say you can't taste them. Well, if you can't taste it, then why are you even using it?
Yeah, you can't really taste it. It has kind of a bland flavor, but it's spongy. So it's just weird. Mm-hmm. And then for Christmas or Christmas Eve or whatever, they have oysters. And ever since I've been dating Hayden, his dad, Wayne, has always been like, you have to try the oysters this year. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. That's one thing I'm not going to try.
So you haven't done that yet?
No. Oh, what was it? It was a crawfish boil. That's what it was, I think, that you might be thinking of.
Oh, yeah, because
I did try it.
Okay.
But I just don't know why people like it, because why don't you just have lobster?
Right. I know you really like lobster.
Because they're just so tiny and you have to go through so much work just to get a little piece of meat.
Exactly. And then they suck it out of there or something really just
and I don't even want to tell you what Hayden does.
I don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
Let's not talk about that.
No.
I'd have to change the rating on this podcast from child friendly.
Probably.
Well, that's good though, because it opens your mind to try new things. And I didn't used to eat tomatoes, and now I like to add them to things. And when I met Jason, I wouldn't touch raw chicken. I love chicken. Now I'll obviously touch raw chicken and cut it up and even do turkey and, a whole turkey and things like that. So he still gives me a hard time about that because he knows it's hard for me. But when I made meatloaf yesterday,
yeah,
you have to stir it with your hands because you have to be really gentle. And so my hands were all in the meatloaf. Nobody was around. I couldn't have somebody else do it, but it turned out really good. Well, good. Keep being where you try new things and tell me about it.
Oh, I will.
Oh, I just remembered so one thing that Callie likes, your Aunt Callie, my sister, at Cossetta is the palmiers. Mm-hmm. So those cookies that, I don't know, they swirl in. It's hard to explain what palmiers are, but Callie really likes those, and I think Heidi likes the checkerboard ones so they have all these little Italian cookies too that are really good, and you just buy it by the pound from the patisserie. Well, speaking of restaurants, you live in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. You've been here for a few years because you're going to school. Mm-hmm. You'll be done this year.
I'll be done in May.
And then you'll do your clinicals. Not sure where yet. Sioux Falls or Duluth.
Yeah.
But because you've been living down here and going to school, you have restaurants that you've tried that we hadn't been to before. Mm-hmm. And so I just want you to talk about some of the restaurants that you've tried here that you like, that you would recommend other people to try. And if there's something there that you especially like, what are those things?
So I really like All Day Café and PAve. They kind of both have similar sandwiches, except PAve, it's like a, what'd you say, clubhouse sandwich, I think. Mm-hmm. PAve doesn't have an egg on it, but the All Day Café one does, which is different. And I never tried it until I was there because I really liked that sandwich. And then I saw that and I was like, oh, that sounds good. And then MacKenzie River, because they have pasta. The pizza is really good too. Blarney Stone. Their burgers are good.
Ooh, I have to try the burger there.
There's one other place that's like next door. I can't think of the name off the top of my head.
Ooh, you think about that. The All Day...
JL Beers.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. JL Beers.
Their burger is really good too.
Okay.
And then if you like sushi, Oshima.
Where's Oshima at?
It's right by... So where PAve is and where Lewis is, it's just across the street.
Oh, okay. So you live downtown, and so some of these places are easy for you to walk to as well. And you work at Josiah's coffee shop, at Josiah's Café and Coffeehouse.
And they just got some new menu items that I can't wait to try. Because one of them, the pepper, he made one time, and it's called the Cure. And it's so good. So I can't wait to try it. Yeah, because he put in the little, like... where they do the interview thing. And yeah, he sometimes would just like, especially in December, he just randomly would make the morning people different foods for us to try to see if we liked them or not. And this one time he made that was kind of probably in November-ish, maybe like October. It was like early, and we kept begging him to like put it on the menu like before January, because he's like he said that he wasn't gonna put it on the menu until January. And we're like, well, we need it now because it's so good.
So it's a breakfast sandwich, if I remember correctly, because I just read the news article about it that Sioux Falls Business did. And a sandwich, and it has probably a breakfast meat.
Yeah, I think it has like bacon, egg, like cheese. It might even have like hash browns. I just know it's like a whole bunch of like greasy... like, I don't know. And then I think so the first time he made it, he made the bread or whatever it was with like nothing. And then the second time he made it, he said that I think it was like maple syrup or something.
Oh gosh.
So it was, I don't know. It was so good.
Yeah, so you work there, and they were closed for a few weeks. They just reopened last week because they remodeled their kitchen. Last year they did the same thing, but they remodeled the seating area, so there's a lot more seating in there now. And Josiah's is downtown as well, but now they just added a bunch of new menu items.
And some people can't find where Josiah's is, so it's like right... Blarney Stone is on the corner, and if you go on the sidewalk towards, what's that building? The pavilion.
Oh, the Washington
If you
Pavilion.
walk towards the pavilion, it's right in between.
Yeah, right on the alley, basically. Yeah, and the Blarney Stone is on Phillips Avenue. It's on the south side of Phillips Avenue on the same... So where Minerva's is on the corner, then on the south end of that block is Blarney Stone. And then if you walk to the west, kind of up toward... Washington Pavilion, then that's where Josiah's is at. You can park on the street, which is metered. Not on the weekends, though. Or there's a parking ramp just across the street from Josiah's. But the Blarney Stone, I'll have to try burgers there. That is the place Jason and I went to in Bismarck, North Dakota. Oh, there's a Blarney Stone. And we went there with Uncle Ryan. Well, Ryan and Jason, they're brothers. They had gone there the day before, the night before, to the Blarney Stone in Bismarck. And they had a great time. And so we went back, and I don't know, there's a shot of something that costs like $50 or something for a shot. But you could get a double shot for, say, $65 or $70, right? It wasn't double. It wasn't $100. And so Ryan was trying to get them to do the double shot, but split it into 2 shot glasses. So that he and Jason could each have a shot, but they wouldn't have to pay for 2 shots. So that's what I remember. Well, that was the Blarney Stone. So when we came back to Sioux Falls, we're like, hey, there's a Blarney Stone here too. So we went there and ate. It was right before Christmas. And that's where I ordered a hot apple pie cocktail. And now we make those at home all the time with the Trader Joe's Honeycrisp apple cider. And the recipe for the hot apple pie cocktail is on randomsweets.com. So if you're wondering what it is, we use Tuaca. And that's not an alcohol that I'd ever heard of or used before. I think it's a brandy. Anyway, that's my memory of the Blarney Stone. And then PAve is right downtown, and the all-day cafe is on...
Kind of by Shields.
41st Street, yep, in that mall kind of by Shields. And it's a club sandwich that you're getting. Probably turkey and ham on toast. And then, like you said, the all-day cafe one has egg on it. And I ordered that too, but then I order it without the egg.
Oh, yeah. And PAve, they have chips, but they make their own chip dip, which is, it's like a French onion.
I think it's like a caramelized onion.
And they have like the actual green onion in there.
Okay.
I told them one time when I was there kind of later, I said that they need to add little slices of pickle in it.
Oh, later meaning because it's a bar and you were there much later?
Yeah.
Drinking vodka?
Not vodka.
What were you drinking?
Malibu Diet Coke.
Oh, okay. No, that would be really good. Okay, so when Jason and I were just in Arizona, we went to a Trader Joe's to buy some snacks. And he's like, I want some chips and dip. And we bought a caramelized onion dip, which tasted very similar to what they serve at PAve. And so we could get that, and then you could dice up your own pickles as you're eating it and stir it into the serving that you're having. Sounds good to me. Okay. Were there any other recommendations? Well, MacKenzie River, have I ever been there?
I think we went... Did we go there for my birthday?
We did go there for something because you had something, a coupon or something on your phone. Maybe it was your birthday item.
I think it was last year.
It was in the last couple of years. I remember because I got a terrible migraine that day and hardly remember driving home. It had nothing to do with MacKenzie River. It's just that's what I remember. We stopped by Nick and Mariah's that day too when they still lived down here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And so I hear people talking in the background because...
There's always people walking around.
Right.
They're never quiet here.
We're at your apartment building, and that's just the nature of what this podcast is going to be like. It's just real and raw. Well, I have some surprise questions to ask you that I didn't tell you about. So we're about ready to wrap it up, unless you can think of anything else.
I cannot.
We'll have to, we'll definitely do more podcast episodes together because you're the one who got me into this, Kalani.
Yeah.
You said, Mom, I'll listen, which I don't even know if you do, which that's totally fine.
I think I've listened to 2.
Okay. Hot Red Grandpa's. I really like Hot Red Grandpa's because
I like to listen to them with Hayden, so we just haven't listened to them because we like to listen to them. Like when we come back from Brookings, we listen to podcasts.
Yeah, that's when I usually listen to podcasts too, is in the car. Everybody's different, but on the treadmill too. But if I'm only listening to podcasts when I'm on the treadmill, I wouldn't listen to very many podcasts because I'm not on the treadmill enough. Here's your surprise questions. Olives, black or green?
Well, I like both now.
Oh, you like green ones now too?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
And I think that's because, so Hayden, his cousin Nick, his girlfriend, Kayla, likes to have green olives in her beer. And so sometimes, and his cousin Nick does it sometimes too. And I would steal them. Well, I wouldn't steal them. I would ask. But if I could have some.
You're so
and
polite.
I kind of just made myself like them. So now I like both. But if I was younger, I would have said black.
Yes, and that's what I thought you would have said today. So I'm glad to know that you like green.
Yes.
I like green as well. I don't like black. All right. Pickles. Sweet or dill?
Which one do I prefer? Probably dill, but I do like both.
But you like the sweet ones too.
Yeah.
Okay. Bananas. Slightly green or definitely yellow?
To eat them right away? Yellow.
Okay.
I'm not like Jason who likes them. I don't know if he's answered this question, so I won't say.
Yeah, no, I didn't ask him this question.
Then I won't say how he likes them.
Okay. Okay, so dessert. Cheesecake or pie?
Cheesecake.
That's an easy one.
Mm-hmm. And you might be a little shocked from somebody. I'm not going to say who because you'll ask the question too, but you might be a little shocked.
Oh, okay. All right. I liked Christy Ann's answer last night. She said, I'll take half a piece of both.
That's funny. Mm-hmm. I'm not a big pie person unless it's like Thanksgiving and it's pumpkin. But I would still choose cheesecake over pie.
Okay. And then pizza, pepperoni or sausage?
Can I do both?
Mm-hmm.
Both.
Okay.
All meat. I like all meat.
Okay.
With bacon.
Meat lovers.
Yes.
Yep. All right, last one. Milk from a bowl of cereal. Drink it or dump it?
Dump it. I don't even like milk.
Yeah, well, some people slurp the milk out of the cereal bowl.
If I liked milk, but I hate milk.
Have you tried milk with, cereal with almond milk?
Mm-hmm. It's good. I still won't slurp it, but...
Sure. Me either, because it gets kind of sweet, and I don't want to drink sugared milk. Mm-hmm. So I dump it. That's why I try to put the least amount in the bowl to begin with. Except,
so we were just talking about this in one of my classes. I think it was like Monday when we went back to school. One of my friends was eating Cheerios or something. I think Lily was eating Cheerios. And it got brought up how when we were little, we would have Cheerios and we would put a bunch of sugar on them. That's when I used to drink the milk because you would get all the sugar as a kid.
Do you know who still does that now?
Sajin?
I don't think, maybe he does, but
who?
Jason. He will have a bowl of cereal, and I have never seen somebody put so much sugar on their cereal before in my life. Yeah. And he'll drink his, whatever milk is left in the bowl, he'll drink it. And I swear there's probably still a little layer of sugar on the bottom. Oh, there is.
That's why it was so good as a kid, because you'd get all that sugar that was just at the bottom.
Oh, well, that's good. Well, where are we going to go for lunch today, Kalani? Because now we get to go do our errands and go for lunch.
I don't know yet.
Haven't decided?
No.
All right. Well, I'm sure it'll be good, whatever we do.
Probably will be one of the ones on the list.
One of the ones on the list.
Could be PAve.
Sounds good to me. Well, thank you for joining us, Kalani. I'm so glad that you said that you would do a podcast with me, because I know it makes people nervous, and I understand, but it's really...
feel like, I said that I feel like I'm like standing up in front of, like, obviously I'm not standing up in front of anybody, but it feels like I'm giving a speech, and I hated speech class. If I ever had to retake speech, I don't even know what I would do.
Yeah, that's the way most people feel. And I do a podcast, but I still get nervous doing it because of whatever reason, right? It's probably just human nature, and I think that's okay. And I know I'm trying to get Heidi and Callie to do one with me too, because I never figured I would do 10 episodes of a podcast and not have them on yet.
Yeah.
Hello, they're my sisters, and Heidi's like, oh, I'm scared, I'm worried.
Well, so I was scared. Hayden knows my hands get clammy. My hands were sweating when we started this, which is a little TMI, sorry. But now I'm like not scared anymore.
Right. It's just a conversation. I know it's weird and whatever, but so thank you for doing it and overcoming your anxiety to sit in front of the microphone. And I'll have you back, and then it won't be so nerve-wracking next time. We'll think about what we want to talk about.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody needs a recipe for chicken and rice.
No. No.
But, okay. Well, we'll see you later.
Bye.
We're going to go run our errands. Bye, everybody. All right. That's enough goofing around for today. We ran our errands, and Kalani did get her clubhouse sandwich and potato chips with caramelized onion dip from PAve Bar and Restaurant. For the full recipe for spicy vodka pasta and a lot of photos of Cossetta, go to randomsweets.com, which I have linked in the show notes along with the 7 restaurants that Kalani mentioned. And a few notes about Cossetta. The eatery and pizzeria side that we talked about most today, it is cafeteria style, not buffet. Their staff dishes up the salads, pasta, and pizzas, and they make your hot or cold sub sandwiches made to order. Also, the newer eatery on their second floor is called Frank's Levy Tavern. Thank you to those of you who have rated this podcast. Please help me in growing our community by sharing it with your friends. I love hearing from you, so drop me a line on Instagram or Facebook or email me with feedback and ideas at stacy@randomsweets.com. That's STACI. I hope you subscribe or follow Funeral Potatoes and Wool Mittens wherever you get your favorite shows so that you are the first to know when a new episode is available. Sweet wishes!